ninth round pick out of the Citadel in 1981, Stump carved out a successful NFL career with the Cardinals.
He's strong. He can move. He was agile. He can make guys miss. He had it all. He had everything in the game.
In Cardinals franchise history, only Larry Fitzgerald has more all-purpose yards.
He did it all, man.
Hello, welcome. Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026. Stump Talk Podcast, Running Back University, episode 26, sponsored by Recruit Runner. Run your recruitment. Go visit recruitrunner.com. Kids, coaches, athletic directors, high school coaches, go sign up at Recruit Runner, get your kid recruited. It's a beautiful day. We were staring directly into the sun. Sapphire, Coach Stump, Russ Johnson, executive producer, the best in the world. How's everyone doing?
I'm doing great, and I know Sapphire is. She looks great.
Thank you, Coach, so much. And I got to say, except for what we're going to get into, life is good. And I learned something today, Coach.
What
I
is
learned that you have one of the most incredible, well-known names in the NFL. I was up in the Detroit, Michigan, Toledo, Ohio area, and I want to give a shout out to 3 new listeners to your show, Kevin Rushing and Terry and Jason Durden, who just were absolutely over the top when I shared about your show, and that would be airing tonight. And it just kind of made me feel warm and fuzzy because I actually know Stump Mitchell. So yes, I'm doing very well, sir.
great?
I will tell you, Sapphire, out here in Tuscarawas County in Ohio, I have some regalia on, and I always take that opportunity. And they say that's, it's either the Jets or the Browns, and I tell them Stump Mitchell, donned it. And you know how many times I've heard them. I remember Stump Mitchell.
Yes.
I have his card in my house right now, and it could be the grocery store. So he definitely is revered, and he done something right on Sundays at least. I don't know about the rest of the week, but a lot of people know Coach Stump Mitchell.
Yes. And it's
Well,
also another reminder, I need to get my autograph when I see you later this year, Stump.
well, when you've been in the league as a player for 11 years and also coaching in the league for 24 years, people should get an opportunity to know your name.
I have no shame, Coach. I name drop you. I don't care if it's a grocery store, bathroom stall. Anytime I get a chance, I'm like, I say Stump Mitchell, and I'm batting about 93%. It leads to me creating a relationship, telling them a cool story, or making a connection to fans. So it's part of my daily jargon.
Well, I'm batting 100% after today. And just thank you, Coach Stump. Thank you.
Thank you all.
We have our topic today. Obviously, we're going to get around to Myles Garrett, and which is we lost I wouldn't say we lost him, but our legendary player is moved on. But we'll get back to that. I want to get to some current events. It's a busy time for Browns backers, for podcasters and whatnot. First, I want to give a hello and give some acknowledgement to Signe Ferguson. She's a player I've been known since the 6th grade. She's a 10th grader at St. V. St. Mary, top 20 in the country. Sophomore class of 2028, 6'4", shooting guard.
Wow.
She has offers from Michigan, Arizona State, Ohio State, Cal, Oklahoma, Pitt. We want to say hello to the Lawler family, the Ferguson family, but we want to acknowledge her for getting invited to the USA team tryout. These are
Oh,
the top
nice.
22 girls in the country, any class, and Sia got flown out to Colorado Springs to showcase her skills. This is a big deal, and so again, Sid the kid, as we call her, Tink. We want to congratulate you and tell you to keep working hard. She's coming in her junior year, so she's going to come in with a vengeance. I'm sure. We want to say hello to our T County Browns backers, Rich DeSecker. Uh, we still love you, even though you don't call us as much. So you still our brother. Uh, him and Shenanigans, our headquarters for the Tuscarawas County Browns backers have Josh Cribbs. This Saturday, June 6th, from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m., the great kick returner for the Browns, a meet and greet. Again, at Shenanigans in Dover. Get down there this Saturday. Also, the Tuscarora's Browns backers has Bowling with the Pros. This will be June 13th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Bowling for the Pros will be held at the Hall of Fame Lanes in Canton. There's a raffle for autographs from Dennis Rodman, Ray Lewis, Lawrence Taylor, Marshall Falk, Steve Largent, Mark Price, the point guard. They had this event last year. It was a great event. A lot of people will be there for this. So make sure you look up the Tuscarawas Browns backers at the Hall of Fame Lanes, June the 13th. Hello to our guy, Dustin, who kind of helped us come into fruition. You know we still got love for you, Dustin, always. Here we go, Brownies ticket giveaway. The Denzel Award softball game this Saturday, also June 6th at 2:30 at Classic Auto Group Park at the Captains Lake County home field. Anyone watching our show tonight who wishes to attend, we're giving away tickets. So we need you to go into the comments, or you can look up Here We Go Brownies on Facebook. Send them a message. Please leave your first and last name. Every person that puts their name in will get two tickets. Again, this is for the Denzel Award Celebrity Softball Game. I think some of the likes of Deshaun Watson, Dylan Gabriel, Kevin Concepcion, the rookie out of Texas A&M, will be there. Greg Newsom, um, and what was the other big name they just announced, Russ? That's right, Shadur Sanders will be there. So please, if you want to get free tickets to the Denzel Ward softball game, leave your first and last name in the comments and your phone number. We need a way to contact you, or reach out to Dustin at the Here We Go Brownies Facebook and leave your first and last names. Your tickets will be left in a will call. So we'll be there, Coach, to push our brand and to support Denzel and some of his teammates. Now we can take a deep breath and remind people why we dressed up and got ready for tonight and put on our Stump. I definitely earned his shirt. He's at the Citadel. They keep on earning my shirt. So we want to get right into it, Coach. The world is definitely waiting to hear what you have to say. You have talked about things again. It always comes out early from you. I watched one of our old podcasts, and we talked about maybe Myles Garrett being disgruntled, uh, having a Hall of Fame career not lead to a Super Bowl. I don't know if that's a disappointment, but Coach, please give us your thoughts on the Myles Garrett trade to the Rams.
Well, I think Miles definitely won out in that trade because they have tremendous amount of offense there, and with the Rams, which he hasn't been able to have the past 3 years or so with the Browns. Instead of him rushing the passer to try to get a sack or something to help win a game, now he'll have more opportunities because the offenses are going to be behind if it's the way it's been with McVay the past few years. Miles will be rushing because those guys have to throw the ball in order to try to get back in the ball game.
Coach, I want to go back to you. Who won in this trade between the two organizations?
Well, Russ, Ro, there's one thing, they always say, uh, the sum of the whole is what you want to look at. I think right now, I think the Rams won because they have everything that they need offensively. Now they have to play as well as they did the past couple of years, but they lacked a little bit on the defensive side of the ball, and they're trying to beat Seattle right now. They think Miles can be the piece to help them do that. But no one part is greater than the whole. And I think when you take a look at the draft picks that the Browns are going to get, they'll be able to build for the future. But I'm thinking, and I know right now, them getting Jared Verse. No, he's not a Myles Garrett, but he'll come in and be able to make some plays for them. They got most of those guys that are coming back. They think they did a good job with the draft and free agency, getting guys over there. But I think helping the defense is going to start with the Browns having a better offense. So I expect to see them, the defensive guys, on the field much less than they have been the past 2 or 3 years.
Go ahead, Sapphire.
I mean, and that's a coach's perspective, and I respect that. As a fan, this was difficult for me. I will totally agree with Coach that, the comment about the sum of the whole, totally agree with that. And then at the same time, Ro, you and I have even talked about the Browns are rebuilding. This is going to be another multi year campaign. And that doggone Andrew Berry, just when I think I'm out, he pulls me back in. This man just a few months ago said Myles Garrett was not on the table for discussion as it relates to a trade. And I believe it was at the end of the 24-25 season when he did his postseason presser. He also said the Browns were not in rebuild mode. Well, here we are. And it's hard because you want to believe in the thing that you're told is the thing, and then you see all of the exact opposite happen. So for me as a fan, it just makes me wonder, where I'm back to, does Andrew Berry have a clue? Right? And can the organization just be real with us? Die-hard fans, we are ride and die. Can they just be real that this is a multi-year project? Because they traded away the best defensive player, and I submit to you, one of the greatest athletes in the NFL in the modern era, in my opinion.
Well, I think the Haslams are doing a hell of a job, personally. I think they trying to win every year. Unfortunately, things haven't gone their way. I hear a lot of chatter about Deshaun being a failure. Well, Deshaun wasn't a failure before he came to Cleveland. So you have to take a look at us as offensive coaches. I was one of them. I mean, I think we let Deshaun down more so than Deshaun let us down, in my opinion. More so than Deshaun let Cleveland down. Deshaun didn't do that by himself. He was pretty dang on special in Houston. So when he came to Cleveland, what happened? We let him down. He didn't let us down. I mean, he didn't have a whole lot of receivers. All right. The offensive line wasn't great, and he got hurt. And the system that he ran in Houston, throwing the ball down the field, was nowhere near that. He never passed for 300 yards under Stefanski his entire time. But yet, Jameis Winston, all of those guys can pass for 300 yards. Kevin didn't. All Kevin needed to do was be the play caller he was when he was in Minnesota and his first year or two there in Cleveland, and he would have been okay. But he tried to put his wits with Deshaun talent, and it didn't work. It hindered Deshaun more so than it helped him. But now you can see Tar Monk, and he's got admiration for Deshaun because he know on the other side when we played them in Baltimore, Deshaun won a game against them. He knows when they came to Cleveland, Deshaun played pretty decent. So he knows the talent that he have there in Deshaun. And I think uh, it'll be easier to fix the things that Deshaun have going against him more so than the things that Shador has. I'm sure both of them and Gabriel, I'm sure all four of those quarterbacks that they have, I guarantee you, have improved upon their shortcomings or things that not didn't serve them so well wherever they've been. Now that Todd is there, because he's a stickler about the little things at every position.
Welcome to the show, Russell Johnson. I want to go back to Sapphire quickly. Not quickly. Sapphire, take your time. This is an in-depth discussion. I want to ask you, and Coach talked about this, the timing of the departure of Myles. Are you okay with it? Do you wish they had waited? Do you wish they had made uh, this trade sooner?
Yes, thank you for reminding and also, gentlemen, accommodating me on my later evening texts when I have Brown's anxiety. Yeah, I mean, I really thought, they just recently re-signed him. Why not hold on until about mid-season? Because at that point, we will have played two of our intra-divisional rivalries, and we'll kind of have a gauge on what that season looks like. Because in my mind, there's no doubt that the Rams would have still been there and possibly at that point in the season even been willing to, give us more for Myles Garrett than they have, which was a lot. But yeah, the timing of it, I just thought, okay. So those are kind of my thoughts on that.
Uh, do you believe that the time we had Miles Garrett that we did not maximize? I mean, having a Hall of Fame, I don't know if he's described as a bookend or what exactly that position is, but did we waste his talents by not reaching the Super Bowl?
I would use the word waste his the phrase waste his talents. Absolutely. Every single year he sounded like a broken record. And near the end of his time here, as he stood behind the lectern, and I just know of the man as the athlete, broken body and all, he was very clear. He was not about a rebuild and he wanted to win. Everything is about winning a ring. And so, yes, I do. And I'll say this real quick. There are a lot of different perspectives on the off the field relationship with Myles Garrett, and there may be a lot of teeth to that. But what I can tell you is on the field, he looked like he gave everything that he could, right? And what more could a fan ask for? So I wish him the best because from a fan's perspective, he gave that team, the Browns, every single thing he could every weekend.
Russell Johnson, my friend, welcome. And just be honest in answering this. Did you shed a tear when you saw the trade hit your ticker?
I was upset. I was hurt a little bit, but I'm the resident, and good evening, audience. I'm the resident GM apologist. So I'm here to give you the other point of view, Sapphire,
Okay.
for Andrew
Let me
Berry.
turn up my volume.
Okay. So Andrew had to tell you some of those lies because he's trying to get maximum value for the trade. When Miles went on Radio Row a year ago before the miraculous season he put together, this record-setting season, he stumped the yard. Trade me, get me out of here. I want to go. At that point, the Browns knew the clock was ticking. So he had to do, as a general manager, president of the organization, I have to do as much as I can to maintain value and see if we can mend this relationship. So they gave him the extra money, but then they turned around and restructured his contract to make him trade worthy. Okay, so the writing was already on the wall for us. We saw it, but we were didn't want to admit what was going on. So at that point, he's not really a team player. Did we waste his time? No. Miles made the most of his opportunity, but he wasn't a good teammate. I don't think he wasn't a good I would say player for the fans. He did just enough for the fans on the field to like him, but his role model, you would say, is LeBron, and so he's leaving Cleveland in a position where he forced to trade, like LeBron getting out of town. But the opposite of that is LeBron. You never heard anything off the court. You know what I'm saying? About him. Was he, inviting the fans? Maybe not, but you didn't hear the speeding tickets once he became an adult. The speeding tickets, car accidents, not showing up for his teammates, not coming to camp on time, not being at practice on time. You didn't hear any of that about LeBron. So that's where Miles I don't think he lived up to be the best teammate or the best player for his fans.
Well,
Russell,
I think I think we as coaches, okay, I think we have a responsibility. I think if you hold these guys to the fire, then they're going to respect you. They're going to respect you, and I don't think we did that for the most part. Now, all you got to do is hold them to what the CBA says. That's all you can hold them to.
Hmm.
And if you do that, then everything is good. But when you don't hold guys to that, and they see how you operate, and especially the last year when we go to the playoffs, and now you come back and all most of the offensive coaches, you release them.
Yep.
You those players, they lost all the respect in the world for Andrew Berry, Stefanski, for everybody. It's no doubt in my mind because they felt as though we were close, and had Stefanski listened to Coach Callahan and practiced those guys, other than giving them the entire time off.
Hmm.
I think Joe had about 8 days off because we played on a Thursday, then we came back and we played
Mhm.
uh, Saturday night, and it was just a lack of respect. Those guys had a lack of respect for the organization for the most part. Not counting the Haslam's. They love the Haslam's because they provided for them. They gave them everything they thought they needed or could even imagine that they wanted. They provided for those players.
Coach Stump, I want to, you've coached some legendary and superstar players, and uh, your attention to detail and the way you approach your craft, I think, has been well documented. You're not the position coach for Miles, given that he's a defensive player and things of that nature. But do you feel like you just said the lack of respect? Maybe we didn't get the best out of Myles Garrett while he was here, based on his position coach or the head coach. You think that's a true statement? Or how you feel about that?
I think the position coach can only do so much. It's going to boil down to the head coach and the general manager, and I really don't believe Miles had respect for him. I mean, when you do things the way that you did, when you playing Baker Mayfield, when you playing Case Keenum, and Baker's hurt, got pretty much many parts of his body at the same time, and you paying Case 6 million, and you rushing a guy out there that hadn't played. I mean, that game they lost in Green Bay, I think Baker threw 4 interceptions in that game. But Baker had not been amongst the team for about 7 or 8 days because he had COVID. They flew him into Green Bay the day of the game on a private plane. I mean, when Case Keenum had the players had all the respect in the world for Case Keenum. When he played extremely well. But it's calls like that just, those players, they saw it. They may not say anything about it, but amongst themselves, they talking about it, and they saying, "What the hell are we doing?"
Coach, was that solely a Stefanski decision, or do you think that came from the front office as well to play Baker?
I think it was a lack of leadership wherever it came from. I think Baker had more voice than either Kevin or Andrew. He said he wanted to play, then they played him. You know,
Yeah.
It's Sapphire, given seeing Miles leave to another team, we've watched Chubb. I think we've had our championship window, and then given our coaching staff we had, including, during Stump's tenure, I believe our championship window seeped under the door and just kind of left. Now seeing Miles, and now I think the last player that may be attached to that is Denzel Ward. Uh, that maybe they're talking about putting him on the trading block and letting him go play
Mhm.
there. And so it looks like the turnover from our championship team that we felt we had was mismanaged, to say the least. And we talked to Stump all year about that. Uh, how do you feel about looking at it from that aspect, and us, as you just said, rebuilding?
Yeah, I mean, again, Ro, you and I are on the same page. And I want to go back to something that Russ said. He characterized Andrew Berry's, he characterized it as lies. Any misrepresentation on top of everything that Coach Stump has just said only adds more kindle to the fire. And this is when I go back to, as a fan, does the organization understand the culture of the fan on the North Coast? Because I submit to you, gentlemen, and all of our wonderful listeners, if he had just been real, we would have been, okay, cool. We know what's going on as a fan. But as a player, to what coach just shared, I can't imagine. Talk about loss of respect, a demotivating factors. I mean, it's a toxic environment down the street. I'm starting to sound like a broken record. And I'm hoping that Coach Munkin brings a different type of culture here. And I'm hoping that once he's established in whatever way that is, Andrew Berry's impact on this organization attenuates. It's not about age, okay? It's about wisdom and decision making. And that's what we need for the Browns.
Tafari, you just reminded me how we're able to cope. Stump is like medicine for us because offers truth and resolve.
Yeah.
So Russ,
Yeah.
looking at it now, and I'm surprised to hear you criticize. I always joke with Russ. He can pull off his mask and there's Andrew Barry under there, like the end of the Scooby Doo cartoon. But I want to ask you, Russ. I mean, do you feel like with Monken, Stump has talked about his kind of no nonsense approach and a little bit of old fashioned? We just need an old fashioned football, folks, in Northeastern Ohio. I think is kind of what Sapphire is also alluding to. Do you
Yes.
feel like the season can be a success if we can just get some truth and tell it like it is and play football the way it's supposed to be played, even though the scoreboard might not give us the end result?
Well, with some of the truth, those are deceptive lies. Those are lies that all GMs have to tell in order to keep, what I'm saying, keep the team afloat. So you can't reveal your whole hand. It's like playing poker. He's playing poker with the rest of the league. I think they can salvage the season with some competent quarterback play. We still don't know who's going to start. Watson, Shador. At this point, I think I don't know. I don't know either way. I would say play Shador because if you're in a rebuild, go ahead and go with the rebuild quarterback to see what you have. Um, I think the defense still would be solid. You know what I'm saying? If they don't trade Denzel, they'll still be solid.
Oof.
Russ, again, just made a comment. We have $1 million question here. Would you trust Andrew Barry with your car keys?
Oh, absolutely.
Go ahead, Jen
Yeah.
Victoria.
Coach Stump, we saw you watching and heard you watching the news feed. Uh, you think there's a possibility? What do you think about the Aaron Donald scenario and his possibility of rejoining the NFL?
Well, I said that yesterday before anybody ever said anything about that. I'm like, Aaron Donald now might want to come back
Yeah.
because people are going to be so consumed about trying to block Miles. There's no way you're going to block Aaron Donald one on one. It's not going to happen. And you're not going to block Miles one on one. It's not going to happen. Aaron Donald can go in there and he can break Miles' record,
Hmm.
because they always showing video where he's constantly working out. He's never gotten out of shape.
Nope.
He just walked away from the game. But it
Yeah. He
wasn't like
retired
he wasn't.
prematurely. I think he retired.
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't like he wasn't beating people when he walked away from the game. He didn't walk away injured. He just retired.
Yeah.
But coach, how difficult is that to? He's not necessarily on the couch, but he's on the couch in some
It's
aspect.
it's not difficult at all for him because he's a guy that's been constantly working out. And right now, the way football is, I mean, these guys they have 17 games, and I think there was only you can only have 12 padded practices.
Hmm.
17 games in 12 padded practices. So you're not even having one padded practice. That average less than one during the regular season.
Mhm.
And
Well,
then if and they have less than that because if they're playing on Thursday nights or you know where the games are running close, they don't practice with pads any that week.
Oh.
Yeah. And we got Wednesday night games now too. A
Yeah,
couple. I
so
think it's two
that's
Wednesday
going
night.
to impact. You know, they won't be. Aaron Donald can come in and play. I guarantee you.
I think
we
so
want to
too.
say hello to DB Howell, uh, Yitterman Khan. I hope I didn't butcher your name. Obviously, Jen Victoria, our superstar fan.
Absolutely.
Mike Buchanan, I want to put our message back out there for the Here We Go Brownies. Anyone watching the show tonight that wishes to go to the um, Ward, the Denzel Ward Celebrity Softball Game this Saturday, June 6th at 2:30 at Classic Auto Group Park, the home field for the Captain Lake County team. Please leave your name. You will get 2 tickets. Please leave your name and a phone number in our comment section. Send a DM or reach out to the Here We Go Brownies. We have tickets to give away. Shadur Sanders, Deshaun Watson, Greg Newsom, uh, Gabriel Dillon. Um, who else I'm thinking missing? Kevin
KC,
Matthews.
Conception,
So
yeah,
it'll be a great
Quincy
day.
Williams.
Who did you say, Russ?
I said Quincy Williams.
Quincy Williams. So if you guys want to go to the game this weekend, please leave a comment. We got 2 tickets for you, thanks to the Here We Go Brownies. Coach, I want to go back and kind of corral and get back to the full circle moment. Uh, the Browns trading Myles Garrett, what they got in return. I think it's important to acknowledge the kid Jared Verse, a Pro Bowler, 25-year-old kid. Maybe we don't at this point we can't say he's generational like Myles Garrett, but they didn't exactly send back a plumber to us. This kid would be plug and play. He's from Dayton. He's from the area, from Ohio, I should say. And also, they got a 2027 first round pick and a 2028 second round pick, 2029 third round. So, um, as you said, Sapphire, Andrew Berry is almost like being in a toxic relationship. Like one moment he's the greatest girlfriend or boyfriend that you've ever seen, and then that next moment, he's not picking up the phone and he's going MIA on you. So I don't know what to do with the guy. Uh, he's had a great draft, and then he's also shown some managerial and decisions that have you scratching your head. Some people say his hands were tied. Uh, so with that being said, Coach, do you know anything about this kid, Jared Verse? And what do you also think about those picks that we have coming in and looking at the Browns' future?
Well, we'll go back with the Rams. The Rams got Miles. If they do everything that they think they can do with that and they go up and win the Super Bowl, then they don't care because that's the 32nd pick. So they're giving up the 32nd pick. It's not a big deal. The Rams have not. The Rams have had 4 draft picks since 2015. Okay, 4 draft picks. They had Tar Gurley in 2015. Then they drafted Goff. Uh, then they drafted. I can't think who else they had. But then this past year, the quarterback. So first round draft picks is no big deal. They go out, they try to get veterans so they can come in and they can win right now. So from that standpoint, if they do everything, I think they definitely went out having Miles. Now the Browns, uh, I think they're going to do well because they got Coach Monken and his staff. I think those guys are going to do a hell of a job. They still have players there that they're bringing in that want to establish some stuff for themselves. Some of those offensive linemen have a relationship with Coach Monken and also Coach Warhop and his assistant. So those guys, they coming in and they want to prove people they were not a part of the last 2 years, most of them.
Hmm.
They're
Hmm.
establishing their own thing. You can't expect Jared Verse to be a Myles Garrett. It's not going to happen. They don't have the same body type. Miles is a freak of nature. When you take a look at Jared trying to turn the corner, he can turn it a little bit, but not with the body lean and the quickness that Miles had. But Verse is going to come in and he's going to play. He's going to be sufficient. He's going to be a leader. And you also have Quincy, who's another guy. I think they did a great job right there establishing stuff. Uh, Grant Delpit on the defense. Denzel, if he's back or not, whatever the case may be, I think they will uh, get a corner or someone to be pretty good for them in order to get things done. So on, I just think Cleveland is in the right situation because of all of other changes in the conference also with losing Miles now and getting some things because it's a lot of people starting over, not just the Browns.
Hmm.
Sapphire. Let's look at the coaching. And Coach Stump would probably have some insight. Do you think Miles is going to a better coaching situation, a solid coaching situation with the Rams? What's the guy's name? Sean McVay.
Okay.
He's
Hmm.
a young. I think he's a younger, good coach from what I can see.
Yeah, I mean, 100. Absolutely 100. And with the additional pieces that the Rams acquired in the offseason, I mean, Russ was at McDuffie from KC. I
Right.
can't remember his teammate from KC, but I actually think not only is that correct, that Miles is going into a better system, a better culture. I think they'll actually he'll play even better because there'll be less pressure on him to be the man, especially with what coach is offering. If they get the return of the player, I just his name just left my mind because I'm like trying to hold it together because I want to jump on the plane and say, Miles, please rip up the contract and come back. But yeah, absolutely 100% he's going into a better system.
Russ, what do you think about the system he's going into? And then we got to talk about the weather and him
Yeah.
being in a new. I mean, listen, I just want to say this, you guys. Anyone who's traveled, and I've lived in 5 states personally. Leaving Cleveland and leaving this weather, coach, we're a little, you kind of adapt to wherever you are as well. But let's just be honest. Leaving Cleveland, going to some palm trees in the Pacific Ocean is not that sad of a day.
Nah,
You take away the great fans. If you take away the great fans of the Browns, I mean, what else what is he really leaving behind?
hey, I can speak to that too, bro. If you have a lot of money, living in LA is a great place.
Right?
And Miles has a lot of money, and so Sapphire, just think about this. Don't be sad. Get a good night's sleep. Miles divorced you. You didn't divorce him. He wanted to lead the Browns. The Browns didn't want to give up Myles Garrett. So fans have to understand that he
It's
wanted to go. So they just let him go. Be great.
it's curious that you say that because word on the street, I'm talking about all over northern Ohio, is that because he didn't show up for OTAs, had not reached out to Coach Munkin. The Browns were like, you know what, this is the time, our window to do this.
Yeah, it was
So
a good
But
time to do it.
but what people have to understand is that those are all things that he have the right to do.
Absolutely.
You don't have to come to those camps that's not mandatory. And you're talking about a guy that's been in the league for what, 8, 9 years?
mhm.
I mean,
But one thing about that coach, he was in the city and didn't even
yeah, he
stop
went to
in the
basketball
facility.
game.
He didn't have to participate. He could have just stopped in the facility, check on things, how you guys doing, say what's up to the rookies. You know what I'm saying? That's being a good team leader. Which
But see, he already knew things were in the work,
yeah, exactly. So
and,
that's where
and
that's
he,
where the
he
divorce
probably
was.
wasn't going to be there. And he held the cards because he had a no trade clause.
He
So
already served his papers. So
yeah,
But Coach Stump, I want to ask you, just in your many experiences, I live in the world. If you take the money, you got to take with the responsibility and the weight of what comes with that. Obviously, the NFL doesn't live in that space. I'm you know, kind of out there with that, but no fashion. But coach, they gave the man $40 million in the contract before that. Do you feel like he has a responsibility to be a team leader and to speak up and to galvanize, or he doesn't have to have all those other skills along with being a good? I mean, he's a great player on the field, but he seemed to be a little bit aloof with the speeding tickets. I don't think he was known for calling team meetings and ripping anyone a new butthole to try to get it together and get us to win.
Miles produce. I mean, he makes enough money to pay for his speeding tickets. That's all I can say. I mean, he didn't do anything. Yeah, I'm not going to say he wasn't a team leader. Now, Mr. Haslam said there are things that he needs to do. He requested a meeting with Mr. Haslam, and he turned him down. He gave him 40 million a year, but he turned him down. He told him to go back and talk to Andrew. He wasn't meeting with him.
That's
So
cool.
there's something right there that tells you he's kind of pissed off a little bit. I'm not
Mhm.
saying anything. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
just like you said, Coach, they bend over backwards for him, and the ownership as a whole bend over backwards for these players. So you feel like I'm giving you everything. At least
Right.
hold up your end of the bargain.
Yeah, but they didn't give them everything. When they let the coaches go, they broke face with those players. I mean, it was just a bad thing. Now I think they replaced all the coaches right now with some pretty good dang on coaches. I really wish Miles was there this year because I think he would appreciate Coach Monken and those guys that are there. Of course, most of the defense coaches are still there, but I think he would have appreciated. But it's no question in his mind he's going to appreciate going to L.A. And if he can do half the things that he did in Cleveland, then they should be back in the Super Bowl.
What
They in his interview they talked about Bubba Ventrone being there as the special teams coach, and he had great things to say about Miles, so they jumped on him. Well,
I
all you
forgot.
need to do is look at the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need nobody to speak on Miles' behalf. That his production speaks volumes.
What about this, Coach? Do you think Schwartz didn't come back because he knew Miles was about to be out?
No, I
Or the
think I,
or
I
opposite of
think
that.
had Schwartz come back, I don't think Miles would have been out.
I think would have. Why didn't Miles convince him to come back then? I think Schwartz knew that they were going to trade Miles. I think he knew.
Uh,
That's why he didn't come back.
Well, Russ, what if they give Schwartz the
well,
head coaching job?
I don't think Schwartz came back because he
He was
felt as
disrespected,
if
but it was
he was
twofold.
disrespected.
It was twofold though. He still could have came. He still had his job though. He still had his
Yeah,
defensive coordinator. Everybody else stayed.
yeah, but they different personalities.
Yeah.
And
Totally,
this,
totally
Russ,
different
remember what
personalities.
you said. Right now, to me, that was a tell about Andrew Berry. And I don't want to go too deep into the lies things. I understand you really meant it like kind of figuratively. But if
Yeah.
that is the way your organization is conducting itself with its own personnel, there's some trust issues there. And I do think a component of what Myles Garrett ultimately why he left is because they sold him a wolf ticket. I
Yeah.
truly believe that. You know, coach, you can talk about the amount of work men put in all season long, especially during the off season to come into camp in football shape. You know, there is a trust element all day long in that you got to trust your front office and what they say. So I would agree with coach. I think if Coach Schwartz had stayed, Miles would still be here because he would trust what he was being told.
Coach Stone, I want to ask you the culture. When you, as a player, as a coach, and you come in and you get that, that regalia and that weather or whatever that comes with that city, and the smell of the stadium or whatever, the practice facility. Do you think there's a refreshness that comes with going to, when you take a new job, the Cardinals, the Jets, the Commanders, the Redskins, or whatnot, and the Browns? You come into that facility for the first time. Do you feel a sense of being recharged and feeling kind of brand new and having a fresh, clean slate going into a new organization?
Me personally, I want to see the leader, the head coach. I mean, I'm not the head coach. Hell, I wish I was a head coach, but I want to see a head coach that's a leader, and I didn't see that uh, with the Browns. I just didn't see it the last couple of years. Stefanski was not a leader. Good guy, but he wasn't a leader. And those players they pick up quick. I mean, Andrew Berry made Denzel the highest paid defensive back in the National Football League after he had sustained concussions for 2 years. You didn't need to do that. You didn't need to do that because everybody else knew he had concussions. Okay, so right now, love Denzel, Ohio State, from Cleveland, I think.
Yes.
Ohio, Norton, Ohio, yep.
Yeah, so you want to keep him, but you want to be able to manage your money too. Okay, you could have put the franchise tag on him. You didn't have to make him the highest paid defensive back, especially after him having the conditions that he had, and he was missing several games each year.
Yeah.
So I just don't. Andrew sometimes he just goes. He don't know when he's won. He can't be satisfied when he's won some small battles,
And
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 you
that
know,
was before they signed the guaranteed with Watson, correct, Coach?
well, Andrew had the opportunity to sign to draft Deshaun. He said Deshaun wasn't going to be nothing more than a backup. That
Mm.
was his That was his evaluation of Deshaun. He was going to be nothing more than a backup. So they traded with the Texans and they allowed them to draft him.
Hmm.
But 3 years later, you go
You
and get
go
six draft picks, three first round picks for a guy that you evaluated as being nothing but a backup. And the way we managed him, I say we because I was a part of it. The way we managed him, he played his poorest football. The way he's going to get managed now by Coach Monken, Deshaun will be an all-star. There's no question in my mind about it. I saw the things that he did pretty much on his own. He's a physical player. He can throw the ball. He can make some plays. He can make some things happen. And Shador is going to be a much better. This is the first time Shador has ever had to compete. Okay, his father gave him everything. He didn't have to compete against nobody. Somebody was coming in to be his backup from high school to Jackson State to Colorado. This is the first time Shador has ever had to compete.
Our Browns fans watching this, we love you. Sorry that Coach Stump just brought some brevity to the situation with Shador Sanders. I'm sorry, Coach, but the world is waiting for Shador to be the guy, and they love him. He resonates with the people. He's the people's champ. But come Sunday at 1 p.m. in that first September home game, I just think that Watson is better equipped based on the evidence that we have. Uh, but but you guys want to kind of give and talk about the other big trade, which may actually you got to remember there was another team in the Super Bowl
Hmm.
from called the New England Patriots. They just
Mhm.
added a Pro Bowl receiver in AJ Brown, great possession receiver. He's physical. They gave another target to Drake May, quarterback coached by your guy, Coach Stomp Grant. I think we need to circle the wagons on that and talk about that. Um, Sapphire, you can take the lead on this. What do you think about that trade? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, like you gentlemen said, it was like the worst kept secret, right? And, I'm a huge Eagles fan as well. I spent the majority of my life on the East Coast. And I will say, mindful that the organization has had so many different offensive coordinators in consecutive years, they haven't really seemingly felt like they got into a flow as it relates to Jalen Hurts. And I just think that, AJ is moving into a system that's more established. They got a great quarterback, they got great coaches. I mean, distractions aside, I think we're going to see one of the best seasons from him than we've seen in the last couple of years because of that.
Well, I think for AJ it's good because like Sapphire said, I think he's going to be in an offensive system in which they utilize and have a better passing scheme for the quarterback, for Drake May. They're going to treat him like he's a true drop back quarterback that can make things happen with his legs, not creating things primarily for him to run the ball. Whereas with Jalen Hurts, for the most part, since he's been playing football, people have really trusted his legs more so than his arm. And I'm talking about in college,
Mhm.
and also in the NFL. But he's throwing the ball better. But for AJ, it's going to the Patriots is definitely a better situation for him to be involved in the passing game more so than it was in Philly.
Russ, what's your take on AJ to the Pats?
I think it was a great move for now for the Patriots. I'm a huge Drake May fan. I underestimated him coming out of North Carolina. I love the way he moves, and I think AJ will be an upgrade over what Stephon Diggs gave them. But pump the brakes. AJ, give him 2 seasons, and then it'll be over with. So
Agreed.
it's basically a rental. He's gonna give him 2 seasons. Good friend of ours, friend of the program, has known AJ Brown since he was 7 years old, and said that he's always kind of been a little mm, uh,
Eclectic.
yeah, that's a good word. Thanks, Sapphire. A little eclectic. It doesn't always equate or reach the top for him. So, and he gets a little unsettled. So he can't be anywhere at the same place too long. So
Mhm.
I
And
give him 2 years.
and when you take a look at the trade, I think they get a fifth, and
Yep.
then they get a first in 28. And
Yeah.
it's they really didn't give up a whole hell of a lot to get
Mm-mm.
him.
Nope.
You're talking about in 28 is
It
when
was a good trade. It was a good structured trade for Philly. So just in
exactly.
case if the Patriots have a setback the following year, they get a higher first round pick. So
Yeah.
it was a
But
good.
and it was good for the Patriots too because
Mhm.
now, I mean, I don't want to say a headache, but AJ was a headache at times
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
I mean, for the head coach trying to deal with him, and then you're trying to deal with the quarterback situation. Is you're glad that it's gone. You
Mhm.
glad when he produced, but now you hope somebody else can come in and make it happen.
Yeah, it's why
Mhm.
Tennessee
Yeah,
got rid of him. Same situation.
AJ just wants you to throw him the down ball.
Yeah,
Coach, I want to. We always want to, you know, talk about the Citadel. How are things? What are you guys up to these days? Give us some insight into college football down there at the Citadel in Charleston.
Well, just like everywhere else, the players are probably just getting back right now, getting ready to start their off-season workout, and before you know it, July will be here, and we'll be getting ready for the game August 29th or 30th. We open up against Wofford, but I'm excited about it. Hopefully, we'll be able to pass the ball a little more than we did last year, and we can be successful. With the NIL, even though we don't give a whole heck of a lot of money, for us, it's all about the opportunity. So we've got some receivers that's coming in here that have some size that I think are going to help us, and our quarterbacks, I think, are going to have an opportunity to throw the ball a little more. So I think we'll be served well with what Coach Drayton and his staff has done this spring in terms of getting guys in here from other schools that really didn't get an opportunity, where they were, but they come here and they bring us size that we have not had in the past.
Okay.
Very good.
Coach,
Uh,
can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
How does the team find those men? Like, how do you figure all that out?
Oh, well, for the most part, once they hit the portal, you see whatever you see. I mean, they're out there, and that's one good thing. The next thing is that you have to compete, and we can't compete with some of those guys. Some of those schools are giving those guys that type of money. But what we can do is give them an opportunity. And when a guy's a senior or going into being a senior his last year, and he hadn't played, no one's giving him a whole heck of a lot of money. And some people may not be giving him the opportunity, but we're giving them the opportunity. Now, I just hope we look at these guys as situational, put them in situations to make some plays, which will allow them to be successful, but will allow us to be successful as well.
That's incredible. Thank you for sharing that. I never knew that, Coach.
we love college football here. Coach, we definitely will dig a little deeper into Citadel news and personnel and culture down there because we definitely want to experience that and let people experience that with you as we go through the Stump Talk podcast and running back you. I want to wrap this segment up and go from right to left, starting with you, Sapphire.
Mhm.
Uh, Myles Garrett, if they do not win the Super Bowl, was this a good trade for the Rams?
I definitely think it's still a good trade for the Rams because he's got a couple more years. And I know that in terms of their draft of Simpson, he's going to be able to sit back and, you know, watch the master work. And I mean, their system is intact on all sides of the football. So, yeah,
So if they don't win a Super Bowl, this was still a good trade for the Rams.
yes, I believe it is.
Coach, well, we're gonna let you go last. Coach Dump is your show. Russ,
Yeah.
do the Rams have to win a Super Bowl to make this trade a valid decision?
Do they have to win it? No. Um, they have a good chance at winning it. You never know what might happen. So they gave themselves the best opportunity to win a Super Bowl. I think another thing we missed with Miles, for years ago, they always talked about we don't know how long Miles will play in his career. Will he play 8 seasons? Will he play 10? Could he give you 15? So I think that's another thing the Browns start looking at. Okay, he's antsy. He has hot. You know what I'm saying? He's ready to get out of here. We don't know how much more years he might give us anyway. So let's get what we can right now. Even though they wanted him to retire as a Brown, yeah, that's that was good for the media. But I don't know. If Miles give him I mean he might get 30 sacks this year. We don't know if but I think they got a good chance of winning it. But yeah, I mean, I would make that trade again any day if I'm the Rams.
Coach Dump, before you go, Sapphire and Russ are wrong. Hell yes, this is a bad trade if they don't win the Super Bowl. They went to the NFC Championship against the Seahawks. You got this. If Aaron Donald comes back, you have this great coach, this great culture, and you have a great quarterback. You bring in the best defensive end in the last 20 years, and you don't win a Super Bowl. That is a terrible trade. What you
Hey,
got over
what,
there? It's in the oxygen, but you guys might be getting a little tired. Coach Stump, what are your thoughts?
Uh, I'm like Russ. I mean, it's no question. Offensively, they think they got what they need, and they look at Miles as being a big piece for them on the defensive side of the ball. They gave up a guy that had 7 sacks last year, versing a leader and everybody likes, But now you bring a veteran guy in, you bring Miles in, and I don't think that division is as tough as the division Miles has just left. And those guys in that division like to pass the ball as well. So he's going to have an opportunity to surpass, I think, the record that he just broke if they can keep their offense up like they've been in the past.
So,
Miles right now is like a kid in a candy shop. He's revitalized. No one knows anything about Miles in LA except for what they saw during game. None of his teammates know anything. So he gets a clean slate to paint the picture that he wants to paint. They already have him on a pedestal because of how he's played. So nothing else matters. If Miles go in and work like he's capable of working and doing the things that he capable of doing, he can wreck a game and they can win. They can win the Super Bowl.
Coach Stump, if they bring, what's the point of bringing Miles to LA if not to win a Super Bowl? I'm a little confused here.
It
Like,
doesn't matter,
you're confusing me.
bro. It doesn't matter who the Rams bring. When they make a trade and give up their first round, they're bringing that person in for them to win the Super Bowl.
yeah,
Like I said, they were only drafted in the first round, used their first round draft pick 4 times since 2015. So they
and
don't they don't care about having a first round draft pick. They care
first was one of
about
those. First
they
was one of
care about
those
the piece
picks.
that they're bringing in to get them over the hump.
Well, my podcast comrades, I see the world black and white. When I got dressed this morning, I put this outfit on to say we're going to be the best podcast in the world. I didn't say we're going to be all right. We're not going to second place. This is for everything every day. Is for all the chips. That's just how I think. Apologies. But if they're not going to win the championship with Myles Garrett added to that already potent lineup, and especially if they add the great Aaron Donald and they don't win a Super Bowl, that is a failure.
Yeah, and they will feel like it's a failure as well.
Mm.
Right.
As long as they offense stays up to what they've done in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't have injuries. Stafford's got to play, and if that's the case, they're already in a division that they know. so they feel like they can win the division, even though Seattle won it all. They think they gave them to them because they scored some points. They just couldn't stop
Hmm.
True that. Well, I want to say hello to our fan Joseph Letman. I saw him tune in earlier. Thank you for everyone who's watching. I think our guy Phil Elam, who I went to see in the Great Maslin today, tuned in. Might have a new viewer in him, and so I want to thank everyone. We're going to close out our show. Sapphire, you can go first. Everybody have a last word tonight.
To the other Browns fans out there in the world, I just say enjoy the downtime because we are in for a bumpy ride. And as always, gentlemen, thank each of you for letting me be a part of this beautiful thing. I love each of you.
Russ,
Oh, you're welcome, Sapphire. I think we had a great show tonight. Appreciate the fans checking us out. We'll see you most likely training camp unless something else comes up.
Russ, you want to tell them about your first game of the finals get together you having you and Pilot at your house? You want
Oh yeah,
to
we're
add?
gonna have a big jamboree. Well, everybody don't know. Of course, I'm a Cavs fan, but my backup, I have a backup team for every sport. That's because I'm a Gemini. Birthday coming up soon. Um, I gotta have two teams. So my other team has always been the Spurs. So I've been rooting for them since about 88, 89, something like that. So we're gonna have a big jamboree, me and my son, and cheer on Wimby.
I'll send Russ's address out. You send me a DM. Coach Stump Mitchell is a lot more well-rounded sports person as people give. I don't have a clue, and I know the man, but he watched some softball yesterday, Texas Tech and Texas. Coach, what's your predictions on who's going to win the college softball championship?
I mean, you got two great pitchers in Tavin and also Kennedy, but I just think she's outstanding for the Texas team. She can go. I mean, uh, Canada, she gets all the praise, but man, Texas pitchers they can go and they can hit the ball. They beat Texas Tech in the SEC tournament to win that. So I just think Texas is going to win that thing. But you know, to the Browns, I think the Browns. I would love to see them playing the Rams, and if that's the case, it'll be in the Super Bowl. Both of those guys are winners. You know, I think Coach Monken and his staff is going to do a hell of a job. I think those players are going to be so excited that's going to get the opportunity to play since now that Miles is gone. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Those guys, they love Miles, but now some of those guys are going to try to
Mhm.
replicate some of the things that he did. Uh, they're not going to want to let Miles down by not being effective and being able to win. And I just think that whole coaching staff, I think Cleveland will learn to uh, understand that it's a team game, and they'll learn to pull for somebody else. I think those players and coaches are really going to get it done this year.
I got one
Coach,
more. I got one more
go
for us.
ahead. Go ahead,
We
Russ.
didn't speak on what y'all think about Serena coming back.
I didn't see that. I
Yeah.
Well,
was
I think
watching.
Serena has been making these commercials for so long. I
Hmm.
think she's probably lost enough weight and said, you know what, I'm gonna put this body. I'm gonna put this body. I'm gonna show it. You know, I lost all this weight for what?
Right.
To beat some butt. That's my opinion about it, bro.
Yeah.
I think one more puts her ahead of Margaret
Yep.
Court.
Yep.
I
She needs
mean,
one more. Yep.
oh, that would be so great to see. I'm excited for her.
Hmm.
Well, with these young tennis players out there, there's some young kids out there playing well. I don't know what she's gonna have to win the Akron Open or something local here because it's a. I don't think she's the big stage is not the same as what she the way she left it. So that's
Yeah, I
gonna be
think
a
she
tough
still
week.
got that serve. She still got the
There you
serve.
go.
Well,
And
thank you guys.
she's lost weight. She's probably moving pretty good.
Hmm.
Yeah, but coach, we know that power came from that tush, man. We ain't gonna dance around that.
Got the genetics, though. She still has the genetics.
Yeah.
Nah, that power is going, man. You can't go get that.
I don't know, bro. She can
Well, thank
still
you
sing.
guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thank our fans, Browns backers. Again, if you want some tickets to the Denzel Ward softball, send us your name, your phone number. You get 2 tickets and will call. Josh Cribbs at Shenanigans this Saturday. Uh, Bowling with the Pros next week on the 13th at the Hall of Fame Lane. So come out and join us. Stay tuned. When Denzel Ward gets traded next, we'll jump back on.
Yeah.
Talk to you guys soon.
Here we go.
Be seen, get verified, get recruited. You put in the work every day. Now make sure college coaches can find you. With Recruit Runner, you can create a free athlete profile built for recruiting. Upload highlights, stats, transcripts, photos, social links, and camp info all in one place. Coaches can search by sport, position, class year, and state to discover athletes like you fast. Signing up is free. Getting started is easy. Your recruiting exposure starts today. Want to stand out even more? Upgrade to Verified for just $7.99 a month or $59.99 a year to build trust and boost your visibility. Recruit Runner. Run your recruitment.